My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And our videos are brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. And OddsJam. OddsJam.com has the fastest real-time data between all of the sports books, which helps you spot discrepancies and place risk-free bets. Check them out now at oddsjam.com. Every single fight, all of the odds from all of your favorite sports books. Next up, at UFC London, we have a ridiculous prospect. Like, the whole world is in love with Mokaev. And he is taking on Cody Durden. Mokaev, you see that 5-0? Well, that's because he only has 5 professional fights. He has an enormous amount of amateur fights, 23, I believe. And, you know, he's got a nasty wrestling background, so you can say he has experience, but 5-0 is his official pro MMA record. He's taking on Cody Durden, 12-3 overall, 3-1-1 in his last 5. He's coming off a dominant win just a few months ago. And this is a card loaded with British strikers. And this is not one of those things. We have Mokaev is a Dagestani wrestler, and he's taking on Cody Durden, who is an American wrestler. For wrestlers like myself, this should be a pretty fun matchup. Mokaev is a Dagestani wrestler, but he grew up in England. So if you ever see an interview with him, that explains the accent. It's half English, half, Russian, Dagestani, whatever that is. And he's got some little twang going on there. Mokaev is an incredible wrestler.
Is he Arkansas wrestling? Is that kind of twang?
Okay. Mokaev is an incredible wrestler. Even though he's only listed at 5-0, he does have a really long and successful amateur career. I don't know if experience is going to be an issue here. I certainly think he's had enough fight experience, but he definitely has not had the big lights experience. He hasn't had the pressure experience. He's never been in a setting like this with this many people watching, this kind of crowd. I mean, this going to be a rabid crowd, and that may be a factor here. He is a very dominant wrestler. He has great grappling, and he's always improving in his striking. Cody Durden is a wrestler. He throws big looping punches to close the distance and get a takedown. His takedowns are very good, and he chains them together really well. His takedown accuracy is less than 40%, but he averages more than 4 per fight. 4 takedowns per fight. And anytime you see somebody that has an accuracy under 50%, but an execution rate as high as 4 per fight, that just tells you what a good chain wrestler that is. That means he took his first shot, didn't get it, transitioned to the second, didn't get it, probably got the third one. So technically, the accuracy is low, but the execution is very high. Like I said, he's averaging 4 per fight. And it's a very interesting fight because all of the hype, all of it is saying Mokaev is the next Islam, the next Dagestani superstar. He is only 21 years old. And I think this is a really tough first UFC fight for him. And if this is a straight up, just pure wrestling match, I think Mokaev wins that, right? But it's not. This is an MMA fight. This is a pretty big MMA fight, right? As far as the lights, the attention, and all of that is concerned. And Cody has 0 issues just coming in, throwing heavy bombs, and then shooting takedowns. And if you dig into Muhammad's fights, whatever you can find, right? Not all 30 fights are on the internet, but whatever fights you can find, there's not a lot of people coming at him the way that I know Cody will. There's not a lot of people looking to take him down. Most of his opponents think they can keep it on their feet, and they want to try to outstrike him. And that's not what Cody's going to do. So I think Muhammad's going to get a different look. I think the bright lights might be a concern, right? He's got experience in the cage, experience in the ring, but not attention experience, whatever you want to call that. And, but I am buying into the hype. So I do think Muhammad wins this fight. I'm absolutely buying into the hype. Everything I saw was fantastic. I am 100% serious, though, with all of those other factors. So I like him to win. He's the pick. I'm not spending this kind of money on him. There's too many unknowns to spend that kind of money. There's a lot of people out there that are going to make him a parlay piece. Oh, Dagestani wrestler, blah, 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 blah. There's no way I'm going to put him in. Just not yet. Maybe his next fight. Just not yet. I just have to see what he looks like in the real world to make that happen. Jakey boy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100% with literally everything that you said, which is very uncomfortable for me to say, but I give props when props to do. So, Muhammad is definitely the play, but those odds are kind of crazy to me. They keep even ballooning even more. I would put him maybe like a minus 200-ish, maybe even like a minus 175. I think he's already like a minus like 350, 360, something like that, because Cody is a very good wrestler. He actually got a scholarship offer from West Point. So, I mean, it's a Division I real wrestling background that he's got. And I think that he's going to be able to offensive wrestle in this matchup. Whether he is continuing to have success in that, can he chain that together in the first round, in the second round, the third round? I don't know. I've seen Muhammad in his defensive wrestling. It is also very good as his offensive wrestling is. So he obviously knows how to defend a takedown. But can Cody work something a little bit different that he hasn't seen before, get him on his back? And remember, he's only 21 years old. You mentioned the factors of the home crowd and stuff. When you're 21, you don't have a lot of experience in general. And when you're that good of a wrestler, you probably don't have a lot of experience on your back. So the second that he gets on his back, how is he going to react? Is he going to panic? Can Cody find those opportunities? That's the big questions here. But I think Muhammad's probably definitely the play. He's a very confident guy, too, in the octagon. You can tell there's no nerves with him. But once he's on his back, if he gets to his back, it'll be interesting to see how this fight shifts. So this might be a live bet situation. The first time you see Cody get a takedown, it's, let's start piling it on before the line moves. But I think the play probably still is Muhammad, unfortunately.
Yeah, and so a couple things. One, he's got a big-time management team. So they are expecting him to be a superstar. They're preparing for that. They're setting him up that way. The second thing, you bring up a good point with, we haven't seen him on his back, and who knows. And, Cody Durden is a very good wrestler. Like I said, straight wrestling match, I think Muhammad's the better wrestler. But let's not forget what Tim Elliott just did to Tagir Ulanbekov. This could literally be the exact same thing. Tagir just didn't wrestle. For whatever reason, he didn't wrestle, and that's why he lost that fight. Cody Durden is going to wrestle. There is no plan B. It's wrestle. That's all he's going to do. So, we both think Muhammad's going to win. We both think the hype is real, but neither one of us are confident enough to make him a parlay piece, put down some money. And the last thing I'll mention about the odds. So that's actually what OddsJam does. Check out OddsJam at oddsjam.com. But what they do is they're pulling live odds from all the books, and they pull them faster than, anybody else is doing it. But they calculate, they have some ridiculous mathematical equation in there and some AI. They calculate what the best odds should be. And as soon as they see one of the books hit that or go past it, they highlight it and they let you know. So basically monitor those odds. And as soon as you see what is better than what should be the best, that's the book you go to, and that's the bet you make. So they do a really good job basically just giving you the tools you need to exploit the books, and some of them honestly sleep on MMA. They sleep on UFC. They don't follow the odds the way they should. They don't update them the way they should. And oddsjam.com will help you do that. So DraftKings, personally, I'm not going to touch it. But this is the type of fight. All of a sudden, Muhammad's going to come out there, get a takedown, 3 elbows in the mouth. He scored 120 points. But I just don't think I have enough confidence to spend $9,100. What do you think?
Yeah, after everything I said, I think $9,100 is honestly an incredible value for someone of his talent. Because he should dominate the fight. I mean, we'll see what happens, but there's a reason why a lot of people are still putting money on him at minus 350, right? The odds moved. So people are still confident putting money on him at minus 350. He should dominate. And minus 350 typically in DraftKings is a $94, $95, $900, $9,600 value. So I think he's good value at $9,100.
DraftKings pricing is interesting this week. There's a lot of fights that are pick'ems according to the odds, but DraftKings just straight up drew a line and fixed that. But we'll see what my lineup looks like. There's a bunch of weird matchups here, but I want him to be the next big thing. I think he probably is the next big thing, but it's a lot to ask to just take that kind of chance on a guy that really just doesn't have this level of experience just yet.
21 years old.
I think it's a clear, I think it's, man, this 59-58 Monkey Knife Fight strike line is really interesting. It's either more or less. I think it's somewhat of a competitive fight, meaning even if Muhammad is dominated with the wrestling, I think Cody's in there bombing away. And when they hit the ground, Muhammad's not a elbow kind of guy. He's a control kind of guy. So I do think the strikes are probably close to even, but Cody Durden does tend to get pieced up a little bit as far as the strikes are concerned.
Concerned.
What do you concerned? What do you think of this monkey knife fight strike line? More, less,
I
less?
honestly, I think it's more and more because I think there's more striking than we expect. You got a wrestler and a wrestler. A lot of times they just kind of like to strike for a little bit, and like you mentioned, Cody is hittable, and Muhammad will strike. So if he starts hitting Cody, why would you shoot a takedown at 21 years old in front of this big crowd? When you're about to knock the guy out. So I think those numbers could add up fast.
Yeah, more is probably the safe play here. If you want to check out monkey knife fight, go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit up to $100. Check it out. You make a deposit, they match it. It's basically risk-free because use the free deposit money to place some plays and bet on some of these lines and see what happens. If you lose, who cares? It was their money. It was a deposit match. If you win, great. Withdraw your real money and now you're only playing with house money. WeWantPicks.com/MKF. And to get money to throw in there, you want 50 free? WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 partners. Make a deposit. Let me know after you do, and we send you $50.